What's going on? Welcome to Shred Gaming, and today we're going to talk about whether or not DNF Duel is in fact alive and will it survive after this patch and with the new characters that are coming. And if you can, please like, subscribe, comment down below. Trying to get to 200 by the end of the month. We're currently at 153, so if you guys could please help me out with that. Now, let's get after it. So DNF hit the ground running upon its June 2022 release. It had a diverse cast of extremely unique characters, easy to play input system with a very well done tutorial, flashy and explosive combos, and an extremely well put together netcode that made online play near flawless. But it wasn't without problems. With a lack of content besides online competitive play, DNF retailed for $50. Although that is cheaper than most new releases, many players felt cheated out of their money due to its cost to content ratio. On top of that, some of the characters were extremely overpowered and even had infinites such as Swiftmaster and Crusader. This normally wouldn't be a problem on a new release because all new releases have balancing issues and it's up to the devs to balance the game out, but it took Arc Systems an entire month to finally do anything about it. They had a few patches between then and now, but the damage had already been done. The player base almost entirely dropped off and DNF Duel was now looked upon as a missed opportunity. Personally, this was really sad for me because I love DNF Duel. This is one of the funnest fighting games I've ever played. It kind of reminded me of Killer Instinct, where it wasn't super competitive and it was just big, explosive and flashy and chaotic, and it was just a lot of fun to play. The characters were amazing, the stages were beautiful, and the music hit super hard. I mean, sometimes I would just sit and listen to the character select music just because of how good it was. And competitively, the game was super easy, which I actually really liked because you had to rely on strategy and execution rather than inputs and mechanics to be successful. So whenever you had openings or you're trying to find an opening or punish somebody, you didn't just have to do like double quarter circle forward punch in order to do your super. You just had one button to push, and as long as you executed that properly or opened up your opponent properly or even like punished your opponent properly, that's all you really had to do. So it was really fun to play. But where it lacked was content for casual players and competition for competitive players. So this could have gone one of two ways. If you were going to have a fighting game with a lack of story, it needs to be extremely competitive and purely focused on esports and esports alone. Now, I don't exactly know the budget for the game or its marketing or even for competitions afterwards, but I feel that what may have given the game more life would possibly be like a league, or if it forced its way into competitions to make a name for itself in the competitive scene. And the other way they could have gone is by simply just given the character names and stories. In DNF Online, the characters you see are all just subclasses, and there is kind of an overarching story, but kind of like with other games, like people draw relationships with Cammy or Ryu or Ken, or with Melina and Katana, with Scorpion and Sub-Zero. These are all names that people can gravitate to, but with DNF there wasn't. They were just nouns. I mean, there was Grappler and Striker and Vanguard, and there isn't really much to go off from there. I mean, it would have been cool if they would have had like Julia the Inquisitor and her dilemma with Gavin the Crusader. I'm just spitballing here, but like with Gavin the Crusader, how she is a lot more of an extremist and he is more of a pacifist, but yet they're a part of the same religion. I mean, it's just stuff like that people like to gravitate towards and people like to discuss online. This is all a part of the FGC. See, DNF didn't really have something like that. If they would have just given the characters like names and backstories and kind of overarching stories, things would have been a lot better. Even like Guilty Gear Strive has that. I mean, with Kai in his story, and people like to gravitate towards that. So I wish DNF Duel kind of would have done something a lot better with its story and with its characters. And now what we're really here to talk about is DNF Duel alive. Well, compared to when it's first released, it's not near as the same numbers. Just yesterday after it dropped, it hit 867 players, which is a lot more than it's had in the past couple of months. But with its new patch and its announcement of its new player and the season pass where it's going to have 4 more players, this is a step in the right direction. I don't think it's going to completely save it, but it's working towards a better game and it's working towards fixing itself. Now, when Street Fighter V first launched, it was purely based on the competitive scene. I don't even think there was a playable story upon its first launch, and they had to do a lot of damage control. But over the course of the past 6 years, the game has developed to be a very successful fighting game. So can DNF Duel survive? I think it's going to be hard, but it's taking its steps in the right direction, but it does have a lot of work to do. With this new patch and its over 100 changes that are in it, in which I will link in the description below, the game is a lot more smoother. The netcode has always been great, but the game feels like a more completed and balanced fighting game. I was playing it all day yesterday and it actually felt really good. You don't see all the infinites that you used to see, and because of the boost in health, there wasn't just TODs everywhere. It still had its big combos, but it wasn't left without being able to come back or being able to actually have, you know, a good solid match against one another. So the game actually feels really good right now. But how the game is going to survive is a few things. One, the devs need to have a lot more transparency. If there's anything we've learned from Street Fighter V, from Project L, and even Ed Boon at NRS, yes, Ed Boon hasn't officially announced anything. He's heavily hinted on things, but I'm sure he wants to say everything he can within his NDA. But you can tell he's chomping at the bit to say things. But anyway, these developers have communicated very well with its consumers, and it's given us a lot of things to look forward to. Street Fighter V is one of the most anticipated games right now because of all the things that they're showing us. Tekken 8 is really anticipated. They've been showing us a lot there, and Project L is giving us a lot of things to look forward to. Yeah, they're not as much as Street Fighter V and Tekken, but they are at least giving us all the things that they're doing and giving us updates upon what's happening over at Riot Games. Now with DNF Duel, Arc Systems really has to communicate with us, tell us what's going to be going on with the future and their plans for the future. They've recently taken really strong steps with making an English Twitter account to communicate with people here in the West and showing us what to come with Spectre and the new characters. But I still think that they need to bring things in a lot quicker, because the farther and farther they push out, the game is just going to dwindle down. They're in damage control right now. They can bring things in a lot quicker and give us more updates on what's going to be happening. It's going to hold players' interest and people are going to want to gravitate towards that. And this is going to be a hard time in 2023 to release a fighting game. Shoot, Tekken and Street Fighter V, probably Mortal Kombat 12 is going to be coming out this year. Hopefully Project L is going to be coming out in the next year. There's a lot of things to look forward to. So DNF Duel is going to have a really hard time, but I feel like they're taking the right steps in order to succeed, because let's be honest, DNF Online, at least here in the West, isn't that popular of a game. DNF Duel was a great idea with a not so popular IP, so they already kind of started in the back. So I don't know what you guys think. Please like, subscribe, and please comment. Let me know what you think about DNF Duel. Do you think it's going to survive? Do you think it's just going to die off as quickly as it came? I want this game to survive. It is a great game. It is so much fun to play. It's easy to pick up. It is a little bit hard to master, especially when you get to playing competitively online, but it's so much fun. I really want to see this game thrive. And with Spectre coming in, who looks like she would be a fantastic character, and the 4 more characters that are going to be coming in, this game is going to be so much fun, and I can't wait to see what happens next. So please let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Until next time, shred out.